Hey guys, welcome to a session. So in this section, we are going to see how to develop a reverse shell program and we can gain access from the target machine. Okay, so we are going to develop our program one by one line. So in this session, from this section, you can understand about the circuit programming and how the malwares will be get developed and how the threat attacker will develop a new malwares and how they hack into the machine. Okay, so from this section you guys can completely going to understand about this circuit programming. You can also create your own malwares, so your own code from this session. Okay, so let's continue our session with the circuit programming. Okay, so let's take this three line first, which we have created. So this is the circuit programming. So if you install this program in your Windows machine or any machines you have been targeted, so it will give you a reversal. It will give a reverse command to us. Okay, so we can completely see what the things will be happen in the top to bottom. Okay, so let's break the program and we can see how it was structured and how we developed. Okay, so the first line. So if you are a C++ programmer or any programmers, you are implementing side libraries, right? If you know Python, you are implementing like import something. If you are using the C++, you are implementing with the /include. So this is the library we are going to use, Windows Socket library. So basically, Windows Socket library is used to communicate from one device to another. Okay, for an example, if you want to create a program, if that program needs to communicate from one machine to another machine or transmit data from one machine to another machine, you need a circuit programming. Okay, so that we are implementing the WinSocket library. So this is used for Windows Socket library. Okay, so we are using the Windows Socket functions to communicate from one device to another, because this program installed in the target machine, and it's need to give a reverse communication to the attacker machine, right? So our target is a Windows machine. So this Windows machine needs to give a reverse connection. Okay, this Windows machine needs to give a reverse connection to this Kali machine, right? So we are using socket library for that. Okay, so this line most of them know in your college days. So if we are developing a new C++ program, or if you are printing any statements in a C++ program, even a hello world program, you are implementing the studio.h, right? Std input.h. Okay, if you this is commonly used. Okay, used in input output libraries. So this will be like printf, this kind of functions. Okay, and the next line, program pragma command like w232. This is a linker. So this line we need for every circuit programming. This is the linker which will be required for the circuit libraries. Okay, so linker required for circuit programming. So we are implemented what are the functions we want, first three lines, and let's take another line and we'll break that. Okay, so WSA data socket data. Okay, so this is basically, it will hold the informations about the socket socket implementations. Okay, so we are going to use the socket libraries completely. This will hold info about the socket implementations. So because we are giving the IP address, port numbers, attacker IP, attacker port numbers, each and everything here in the socket programming. So this will hold the informations about that. So the main socket, which will be used for, it's a very important it's a very important line. So this line will give a remote connection. Okay, remote connections. Okay, so this line is responsible for giving a remote connection from one machine to another machine. So next, we have another line, struct sock address in connection address, right? So this line hold info about the Kali IP and Kali port. Okay, we are going to take a reverse connection from Windows machine to a Kali machine. So we need to give the Kali machine IP and Kali machine port here, so which you want. So this line will hold this information. So the start of info, so it's like we are going to start a new process cmd.exe. So that we are implementing this line, startup info, and the process information. So this line will hold info about the cmd.exe. Okay, so the process has some information like process ID and some library files, like, right? So this line will basically hold the information about the process information. Okay, so let's take another other lines which we have created, and let's break this line first. Let's see this. So whenever you are implementing, so whenever you are developing or whenever you are executing any files into the Windows machine or any machine, so the main function will be get executed. Okay, so you know the applications like chrome.exe, firefox.exe, there are a lot of applications will be there. So when you are double clicking on any of the application, the Windows loader, the process executable loaders in the Windows machine, okay, we will call it as P loader. So when you double click on the program, so it will see the main functions in the program. Okay, it will see the main function in the program, and it will start the program execution from the main function. Okay, so basically Windows take a main function and it will execute the main function first in the program. Okay, so in the main functions we are giving some parameters here. So the char, we are giving the attacker IP, so we need to give the attacker IP as a Kali machine IP. So the Kali machine IP will be so 18.3. This is the Kali machine IP. So let's give the Kali machine IP here. So sort attacker port. So you can give any port like 4444 or 8888 or 9899, whatever feasible you can give that port. Okay, so in this program which I am giving the 8567 as a attacker port. Okay, so this is the informations we are giving. So this line will hold these kind of informations like attacker IP and the attacker port. Okay, so let's break the other program. So WSA startup. So this line will initiate the Windows socket library. Okay, so basically the WSA startup will initiate the Windows socket library. So the make word we are giving the Windows socket library version as 2.2. So this is a version information. Okay, this line is an important line when you are dealing with the socket programming. This line only will initiate the Windows socket library and it will do the other task. Okay, so let's break the other line. So this line, so this is also an important line. So the main socket we are giving as a variable or a parameter, whatever you can say. So you can say it is a WSA socket of function. So this is the functions we are using, WSA socket. So this function we are going to use a TCP for this. Okay, so we are going to use a TCP connection, transmission control protocol, for our socket programming, because most of the socket programming will run under TCP based protocol. So if we are implementing the WSA circuit, it will be implementing a TCP connection. So you can see AF INET. So AF INET will be holding the attacker IP and socket stream. So socket stream, we are using the TCP connection for that, and the IP proto TCP, absolutely we are using a transmission control protocol here. Okay, so the sock stream is used for communication, like transmitting data from one point to another. Okay, so this is the value. Okay, and the IP proto TCP, we are going to use a TCP based protocol for the program, and we can break the other line also. So the connection address dot SIN family. So basically it will hold the AF INET. So it will hold the information about the attacker IP, that's a calling machine IP, and the SYN port. This line will hold the attacker port 8567, and we need to convert this IP address into the strings. Okay, so that we are using the INET address functions to convert this IP address into the strings. Okay, so we are using the INET address function and attacker IP. So this is the attacker IP which will be present here. 192.168.18.3 will be here, and this will be converted to the strings, 32-bit strings, by using the INET address. Okay, also break the other line. So we are in the end of the program now. So this line will create a connection to the Windows IP to the attacker IP. Okay, so this line will give a reverse connection to the Windows IP to the attacker machine IP. Okay, because we are using the WSA connect. Okay, the WSA connect, this line will be initiating the connection. This line will be connecting to that attacker IP. Okay, connecting to this IP. Okay, so this is the overall program for a Windows socket library. Okay, so this line will enough to give a reverse connection to the to your Windows machine. Okay, also we have another few lines in a program. We will take every lines from here. So this line will start already we discussed, right? We need to start a new process, cmd.exe. From cmd.exe we will get a reverse connection, right? So to create cmd.exe process, so we are using this function. Okay, so we are using this functions and programming to create a new process. Okay, this will create a new process. You can see the lines here, create a process. Some of the parameters are null here, which we need to create cmd.exe. If you want to explore more about the create process library, so what you can do, you can go ahead and you can do some research about that. Okay, so you can go to the Google. If you have any doubt in any of the library, so what my suggestion will be like, so you can go to the Google. So the Microsoft will give a good explanation about everything. Okay, so how you need to create a process and what are the parameters you need to give, each and everything it will be giving. Okay, so this is the process called create process A, but we are using a create process in our program. So the function is a create process. Okay, so this is the parameters you can you are giving the application name. So here you can give the cmd.exe or the command line, so which commands you need to execute or anything whatever is visible you can you can give that. Okay, so this is the parameters you can use. So if you have any doubt in any of the programming, you can use that. Okay, so you can search a WSA connect. So it's a WinSocket library WSA connect. So we have things here. So here you will be seeing the connection socket. So this parameters. So these are the parameters we will be giving there. Okay. So we will take this WSA connect and we'll learn something. So in WSA connect, we are giving the main socket, right? So some socket. So here you can see socket. So we need to give a main socket here. So this is the main socket. So inside the main socket there will be a attacker IP and the what are the protocols and everything will be there, and the name and everything will be there, connection address. Okay, so this is the way you are going to develop a program. Okay, so if you need any reference for a WSA socket, you can search in the same way. So what do you get? Okay, so which will we do? Okay, so this is the entire program which we have created for a Windows socket to take a reverse shell from the Windows machine to the Kali machine IP. Okay, so explaining this programming things, I'm not a professional in explaining the programming things and all. So I hope you have a clear understanding about the socket programming, because I'm not a professional programmer to explain each and everything, but I know how to develop a malwares and how to develop the programs to bypass the EDRs and the AV programs. Okay, but I'm saying I'm not a professional programmer to do each and everything. Okay, so let's you people have a clear understanding about the socket programming which we have created. We will hop off this video and we will compile this program and take a reverse connection from the target machine. See you guys. Bye bye.